with my computer
Yes.
just before we started tonight. Halo 2 has always started on the wrong monitor until I figured it out by being a normal human being and searching on the internet for my solution. Because it seemed like it didn't want to, pay any mind to my settings where it was like, hey, which monitor do you want it on? And they're like, no, we're going to always put it on this portrait style monitor you have over here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then being in 720p, it doesn't show anything because it's really confused over how it's supposed to show anything. It would get to the point where, like, the last time we played, I would have to physically unplug that monitor.
Ew.
To tell Halo to get the hint. Like, stop putting it on there. And now it's fine. It listens. All is well. That's like the most recent win in and most recent news in my world.
Awesome, though.
So,
I mean, every win is a good win.
Absolutely. So how are you?
Hanging in there. It's been kind of a wild ride the last couple weeks. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, for real. Are you on May 2022 already?
No, should I be afraid of May 22?
No.
I think we're going to that in like another week.
Oh, okay. That's what we're doing. So I think 2 weeks. 2 weeks we're going to May 2022.
Well, yeah, because August 22 was so evidently cursed that they're just like, we're not doing it. Goodbye.
Oh, wow. I didn't hear about that.
There is no, I'm assuming that. They just said there's no August version, and I'm like, I'm assuming it's cursed.
Oh, jeez.
Based on what I've seen and just everything else, I'm like, I don't know. There have been enough issues as of late that I'm pretty sure someone did something wrong.
It's amazing it's amazing how fragile this system can be.
I moved a semicolon. The whole thing's fucked.
Yeah, for real.
Why would you do this? Why would you hurt us this way?
I expect that when I am working on, designing JavaScript in college, where a couple of wrong characters will just mess up the whole thing. But, in a professional environment, in testing, sure, I get it. In testing, but.
And I guess that's it. To me, I'm like, you should have caught some of this stuff. Like,
yeah.
One of the big things is when they migrated to the new, code base. Not code base, it's the same code, but, the new platform from just, more to web-based.
Uh-huh.
Individually, all of the people working on each of the projects was like, there's, a slight, second or two slowdown, but it's not that big of a deal. I don't need to do anything about it. I don't need to raise flags. And no one caught it until the whole thing was packaged together and rolled out to real humans.
Wow.
We'll
we'll fix the bugs in prod. What a great idea.
My watch is just like, hey, your pulse just shot up. You good, homie? No, I'm not okay.
Works fine for the video game industry. Let's do it for this one too. Why not?
No.
Wow.
Oh, we were talking to a vendor today, and I was mostly asking reasonable questions about, hey, should we maybe limit people's access to things that can change settings for everyone forever? And they're like, no, why would we have that functionality? I'm like, I don't know. That just seems like a problem.
Seems important.
And watching
important.
This vendor's product makes Overwatch 2 like a fully thought out, well developed, and well released game.
Oh no. No.
That's all I have to say about that. I was just like,
the absolute state of Blizzard that, most people are like, well, Microsoft's buying them, so maybe it'll get better.
Baby, no.
Wow, that's the state of things at the moment.
Know.
How sad that is.
So, God.
But wow.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I would be laughing if this was Blizzard. I am not laughing because this is a real thing that they're like, yes, this is a fine thing that we are going to use on real humans. And I'm like,
with real consequences, not just, oh, you're going to be annoyed and wait for a patch. Maybe
we should all take a moment and consult our deity of choice before we proceed. But that's just me. I just work here.
Yes, exactly.
And speaking of deities of choice, last time on Halo,
yes,
we have to go. What was it? 2 sessions ago, we Chief killed a prophet, and then they were like, nuke it from orbit. So you're like, the only way to dodge a nuke is to jump into the water. Yep. Where some hentai tentacles were like, all right, I found it. Can I keep it?
Yeah, I'm seeing this thumbnail. And,
no, trust me, it's going to get so much worse before it gets better.
Oh, great.
Don't worry about it. This is probably appropriate for, like, post-Halloween. I wouldn't worry about it at all. And then our last time we played, the Arbiter was having a chat with the Prophets, who found 343 Guilty Spark, who told them where to find the Index. You go and get the Index with all these brutes who have taken over for the elites. And to the surprise of literally nobody, the brutes have betrayed you because the prophets are like, nah, kill them. It'll be fun. Kill all the elites. So he kicks you down a hole. Obviously, I don't think the Arbiter knows how to die. So you're not dead yet. But we might wish we are. I want you to understand before you see this cutscene.
All right.
I saw it when there were like 7 polygons, and it was still terrifying. This was the first one I looked for when we were like, oh my god, they redid the whole thing in the new engine. So I watched the opening cutscene, and then I went to find this. Because I'm like, I have got to know how they wanted this to look.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this. Here comes 2.
Oh boy! I hope you don't have nightmares! Shoot, did I? Okay, I do have the audio going through the right one. It's just really quiet.
I have to keep mine low, because it's like, it's either low or I can't hear you.
Oh.
There's no middle.
That's weird. I would have thought you could adjust me in Discord or something.
I can. It's just that the volume for the game itself is super loud.
That's really bizarre, because I feel like mine's flipped. That's okay. I'm okay with this being a little quiet, because I thought it was just about to blue screen on me. I'm like, bro, do not even do that to me right now.
Right.
I'm gonna need you to not.
What is that?
Let Cortana swear.
I am a monument to all your sins.
Oh no.
Remember how I said he can't die and doesn't know how to chill?
Yep.
Relax. I'd rather not piss this thing off.
Demon. This one is machine and nerve, and has its mind concluded.
Oh, don't touch me.
This one is but flesh and faith, and is the more deluded. Kill me or release me, parasite. But do not waste my time with talk. There is much talk, and I have listened through rock and metal and time. Now I shall talk, and you shall listen.
Oh, good.
I am 2401 Penitent Tangent. I am the monitor of Installation 05.
And I am the Prophet of Regret, Council of Most High.
We just killed him.
A reclaimer? Here? At last. We have much to do. This facility must be activated if we are to control this outbreak.
Stay where you are. Nothing can be done until my sermon is complete.
Not true. This installation has a successful utilization record of 1.2 trillion simulated and 1 actual. It is ready to fire on demand.
Of all the objects our lords left behind, there are none so worthless as these oracles. They know nothing of the great journey!
And you know nothing about containment. You have demonstrated complete disregard for even the most basic protocols.
This one's containment.
Yeah, watching this thing talk is just uncomforting.
And this one's great journey are the same. Your prophets have promised you freedom from a doomed existence. But you will find no salvation on this ring. Those who built this place knew what they wrought. Do not mistake their intent.
Oh, there's like an eyeball on the very front of his pointy lip. I hate that so many times.
It's everything's
King
just
is right. Halo
wet
is a
and
weapon. Your prophets are making a big mistake.
Your ignorance already destroyed one of the sacred rings, demon. It shall not harm another. If you will not hear the truth, then I will show it to you.
Where's a tooth? I can't tell.
There is still time to stop the key from turning. But first it must be found. You will search one likely spot, and you will search another. Fate had us meet as foes, but this ring will make us brothers.
So uncomfy!
a lot of undulating, moist tentacle action there.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much.
So much squelching.
Also, do you
Nasty.
think that the writers just went absolutely as hard as humanly possible when writing that dialogue? Because holy shit.
Oh, absolutely.
We are, all of us, gravely concerned. The release of the parasite was unexpected, unfortunate, but there is no need to panic. In truth, this is a time to rejoice. A moment that all the Covenant should savor. For the sacred icon has been found. With it, our path is clear, our entry into the divine beyond guaranteed. The great journey is nigh, and nothing, not even the flood, can stop it.
Uh-oh.
Boo.
Kill the demon!
Yeah, this'll be fine.
Ooga! Oh, yeah. So, the Gravemind, right? That big, terrifying, horrible thing that we had to look at for like 2 straight minutes.
Yes.
That
That's his
is-
name?
Yes, that is the Gravemind. Do you remember?
The demon has infiltrated.
Do you remember what Captain Keyes looked like at the end of the first Halo when you had to like he became Giant Potato Man?
Not quite. It's been a little too long since.
True.
But Giant Potato
So-
Man paints a pretty good picture.
Like he was kind of transforming to this giant bulb of awful flesh potato man. Stop shooting me, asshole! I'm explaining lore.
All right, as you were before you were interrupted.
Rude. What he was becoming in the first Halo is a proto-Gravemind. It's essentially a critical mass of flood that's forming a hive mind. This ring clearly has its containment all kind of fucked up. And, sir, you're being rude.
Yeah, I was trying to listen.
And they were, so all the flood got out, which is bad. Oh, God!
Yeah, this guy's not nice.
No,
Like,
that was
stop
uncalled
talking
for.
about lore.
No! You'll take it from my cold, dead Spartan hands. Also, I love that that platform came up and just catapulted that dude's body. So,
Oh, that'll do it.
essentially, if you reach critical mass of flood, they form that big Gravemind, the Hive Mind, and it just becomes awful and powerful and evidently wet and disgusting. Ugh.
Oh, that's what. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all
That's
flood.
the end result.
Yes, if you let it go long enough.
Yikes.
There is some, because they're a hive mind, there is speculation that the Gravemind we talked to. Do we have to go on here? It's been so long.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Tell me your secrets.
Cortana's over here just trying to upgrade to
They
Windows
locked
11.
below.
Hmm?
There's a door at the other end of the chamber.
Okay, Cortana,
okay.
don't need to get sassy with me. So
She didn't like my Windows 11 quip. She's very sensitive
Aw.
about it.
that's fair. I can't blame her.
No.
But yeah,
Prophet,
so
he has the index. You've got to take it from him. Let me get these doors. Go. It'll be easier to track truth if I stay in the network.
part of the reason it's oh hi guys, lads. There is some speculation that the Gravemind that we just talked to is the one that has been around pretty much since. Oh God! Hi. The Forerunners were fighting the Flood.
Nice.
There's nothing to prove that, even if
Okay.
it's not, because they have that hive mind as they go through generation upon generation. They pass down those memories. Oh, please don't throw that at me, sir. Even they would have the memories of what came before. But that's also why it's really important that we don't let them get people like Captain Keyes. You can read it in the novelization of the first Halo, where you actually get to be in Keyes' mind as the Flood is trying to take over and get pieces of information like the location of Earth. And he's slowly feeding it his memories. So he's feeding it memories of his daughter, of like all of this other stuff, of like, here's all the calculus I've ever learned. Here's all, yeah. No joke. He's like, all right, I'm gonna start with trig, and
Here's the full history of the 1987 DuckTales TV show.
at the end, it's just be like, oh my God, please stop.
Here's everything I know about Launchpad McQuack. God, no, stop.
Please, why? So this is where they burned the Arbiter at the beginning.
I'll reverse this grab.
Oh.
Drop down, try to
Yeah.
Whee!
Really, just step in.
Falling with style.
I still don't have grenades. Dang it.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't like it.
Just being mindful of my ammo.
Yeah.
Since I can, well, I mean, since you can't just walk over a gun sometimes, and it'll,
Yeah, pick it up.
seems like marine stuff will do that, but not.
Yeah. Because this is all
Not Covenant
plasma
weapons.
charge.
Yeah.
Well, Needlers will. But yeah, that's Gravemind is super gross. That scene goes
Super.
so hard though. Just we quote that all the time. I am a monument to all your sins.
Yeah, that part I was like, oh boy. Just you meet something that says that to you, you are in for
what?
a
I should
bad
go.
time. Yeah.
In our house, we use a lot of "there is still time to stop the key from turning." And we're like, I don't know if we have time. There is still time to stop the key from turning. No, stop, sir. Stop
There
it.
we go.
Oh my God,
Where'd they go?
I died.
Oh. Well, there's one. Oh, hey, there you are.
Hey,
Oh,
I'm
there
back.
he is.
Ooh. Yep. Hey, you found him.
I'm back.
I'm back. Wrong.
Yeah, you warmed him up for me. He only had like two hit points left, so
Somewhere below your
worked out.
pressure.
So
Beat the shit out of him.
yes. That was outstanding. So so it's been a while since we hung out proper.
True.
So besides work stuff being work stuff, anything of note going on?
I mean, there's been some crazy family stuff going on, which is always
Oh, that's right.
fun.
Because you had asked for was that when you were asking about getting some articles edited? Okay.
Yeah. I should be able to get a good backlog going. But everything is not fine, but like taken care of for now.
Oh, that's good at least.
Yeah.
So, silver lining to a really shitty cloud, huh?
Yeah. Why?
Damn.
Did they just throw every grenade they had?
They did.
Oh, well, you know what? I can respect that choice, I guess.
Yeah, you know, it worked.
It did work really well. But yeah, no, and we're kind of we're trying to figure it all out right now. We may be getting a new car.
Oh, okay.
We've been talking about it for a couple years, and my husband has a 2008 Honda Civic.
Oh, but those, I mean, the Honda Civic.
Those will run until the end of the earth, yes. But the transmission's starting to go. It's been going for a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of at the keep it running, but sometimes the transmission's just like, nah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, you're definitely running into the ground status.
Yeah. And, you know, we're kind of... One of the doors doesn't lock properly.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is, you know, not what you want.
Here, Chief, jump in.
Oh, I went up. I don't know where I'm supposed to go, but I went up. Oh, I think you're... No? It's not down there. And it's one of those where we're like, if we ever decided that we wanted tiny heathens, fitting them in... When the larger car that you have is a Prius, you know something's not quite right.
Oh, yeah. At that point, it's time.
You're like,
Apologies, I just had like the greatest battle with a needler and a rifle that didn't have full ammo.
Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry.
I'll zero their location. You neutralize the guards. Quietly.
Cortana, woman, please. I don't do... No.
But
yeah,
so yeah, you're looking at getting a new car. That's exciting, especially because you know you're due.
We're due, and also even if we don't have kids, we have a very large dog that doesn't fit. He fits. Nothing else does in the car.
Technically,
the problem. Yes, technically he fits.
Oh.
Technically he does.
I went down a level.
That's okay.
Oh, now I went up a level. Okay.
Psych!
And now I'm down a level.
Oh. What's happening?
Learning how these elevators work. It's like walking into Woodman's for the first time. You're just kind of overwhelmed, and you walk around, and you know, suddenly you're in the super long pizza aisle, and next thing you know, you're checking out 7 different kinds of ramen.
Yeah, I never understood. Like, I think that's a Midwest thing that we just have an absurd amount of pizza choice.
Oh, we sure do.
Hi, sir. You're not my friend.
And of course, Woodman's is an exception to the rule because they're just such a huge grocery store. But
they are.
But grocery stores in general in the Midwest, yeah, for sure
Yeah. What about you? Anything fun and exciting? I know we haven't seen or talked to each other in so long.
Oh yeah. I have some very rude people rude Covenant guys trying to kill me here.
Uncalled for,
yes.
Sir.
So this past weekend, I went to visit my parents. Just my whole family up north, and I found out that Henry and Holly were taking their kiddos down to Wisconsin Dells for the weekend. And so I sent them a message. I'm like, hey, you guys stopping at that popcorn place in Westfield called It's Poppin'? And Holly's like, no, we're going straight to the water park cabin thingy that we have.
Nice.
And I'm like, well, yeah, that's a great idea, but this sounds like a mistake. Not stopping at It's Stoppin'. So I stop at It's Poppin'. I always go there. I get a bag of buttered popcorn from my mom. It's a tradition.
Aww.
And lately, I've been also picking up popcorn for my goddaughter,
Aw.
who's Henry and Holly's daughter. So
Right.
One more group of Marines to go, Chief.
I pick up that popcorn, and then I head north because I finally get to go visit Jason and Kim.
Yeah.
And the story behind that is that when they were when they kept coming down to Middleton for treatment on a near like 2 to 3 times a weekly basis, a lot of times they would go to Daba for lunch or dinner.
Dabba die.
Yeah. Because they've lived in Milwaukee, they've lived in Portland, Oregon, and they love Indian food, but central Wisconsin doesn't have any.
Hey, that was him, not me.
Yeah.
Nearest Indian food in relation to that area is in Appleton. So before Alexander was born, I told him, hey, after all the family, all the friends come by and visit, and they're occupying all your free time, and then you get that lull, and you're like, oh yeah, we're just parents now doing parent stuff.
Yup.
And this is just what it is without all the visits. I told them I will send them a text with the menu for Daba, and I will and I told them, you order what you want and I will bring it that day. So doing a couple of things here, right? Indian food and popcorn and whatnot. So I stop at so I'm driving up towards Stevens Point under the impression that Henry and Holly are going to be on their way. I'm just going to miss them. So we'll be driving on opposite sides of the interstate. But
Wave as you go past, right?
Yeah. But I decided I'll stop at their house anyway, just in case that they're home.
Right.
And sure enough, they are. So quick say hi to my goddaughter. Give her the bag of popcorn. I was ready to, like if I was like driving past them in town, I was ready to yeet the bag into the car.
Perfect.
I was like, the perfect handoff. But
the only way to deliver popcorn.
Right?
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Don't do what I do.
Hostile reinforcements coming down the lift.
But I go back up to where you are?
Yeah, I think we're going back up to the top.
Okay. So give her the popcorn, say hi to everybody, and then let them be on their way. And where is your green arrow?
I'm up a level.
Aha!
Not that one.
That explains it. Okay. And
Yeah, that one.
there we go. Okay. Got it. Oh yeah, now I'm seeing some fellers.
Sir? Why? I went to space more than I already did.
No. They're throwing all these grenades and I don't like it.
I did not put on catch. Watch out behind you. No!
No.
Oh my god.
Wow. That
I will take greatest saves for 500, Alex. Oh my god.
That went according to plan.
Mm-hmm.
That guy never saw that coming, and neither did I.
Oh my god.
So I go to Jason and Kim's. We have Indian food. I say I meet baby Alexander. I feed him, forgetting how to hold a bottle properly. But
that's fair.
But I mean, he drank most of the formula in the bottle.
A good boy.
Yep. And then he was getting a little fussy, and he just wanted some tummy time with his pops.
We've got to get after truth, Chief.
So
That's still a good time with a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I catch up with Jason and Kim, and then Kim's parents arrive to babysit because Kim and Jason want to go to this candlelit walk that's taking place at the Schmeekley Nature Reserve in Stevens Point, which is just this great little nature retreat that's right by the UW Stevens Point campus. Which, when I was a student there, I never went there.
Yeah.
I knew it was there, and I'm like, yeah, Schmeekley. I go hunting in the woods all the time, whatever. But
I know what woods are like.
Yeah, this isn't anything new to me. But But like over the years, I've gained an affinity for state parks and stuff like that. So was willing to give it a shot, and yeah, we had a great time just going for a walk and talking about all sorts of life related things, and it was great. So I head home to my parents' house, and I get unpacked, and I'm just chilling because my parents are they're at a bar about I want to say 20 to 25 minutes away from where I am, in the middle of in Eland, kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
And so I'm just vibing, and all of a sudden I get the house phone starts ringing. I'm like, well, that's weird. We all have cell phones. What's going on here? So I answer, and I can barely hear my mom over the extremely loud jukebox.
Okay.
And I hear the words "coming home," and I'm like, okay, all right, well, it's not unreasonable to to get a phone call to let me know you're on your way home. So, all right, great, cool. See you guys in a little bit. And I hang up. I go right back to minding my own business and vibing. 10 minutes later, my mom calls the house phone again. And she asks quite plainly, she's like, why haven't you left yet to come pick us up? Because we keep an app called Life 360 on our phones, my immediate family, for tracking.
There's a sword here, by the way.
Oh. Okay, don't look at it, and got it. It can only be handled when not directly observed.
Ah, the quantum sword.
Yes.
Yeah, Life 360.
Yep.
When I was on an iPhone, we had something like that.
Mm-hmm. So she asks, why haven't you left yet? And then I started to think about what the original call was about, and that she was asking me to pick them up, her and my dad, because they were too drunk to go home and drive by themselves. And I'm like, oh, this is new. I've never had to do that before. But I will happily come pick you up. Absolutely, please do not drive home.
Thank you for being responsible.
Yeah, for real. So I drive. So I'm in my pajamas and I'm in a hoodie. I am dressed for comfort. I'm not expecting to be at this bar for more than a minute.
Oh no.
And I get inside. Sure enough, the parents ask me if I want a drink. So they flag down the bartender, and this bartender looks awfully familiar. Like I cannot put a name to that face, but I know this face. I have seen this face in the past. And sure enough, he's doing the same thing to me.
Pointing Spider-Man meme.
Yes. He recognizes me, I recognize him, but we can't put names to who we are. So finally, in what must have been like a good 15-second Mexican standoff, we finally he asks me he asks me for my name.
Yeah.
And so I tell him, and it turns out that this is a guy that I went to high school with, and graduated with, but he is not on social media. He's been off the grid the entire time. And for anyone,
that's really hard to do,
right? Yeah. So for anyone who is watching this and knows me, the person in question, his name is Shane Larson. So, in catching up with him, I found out that he was that he went to UW Oshkosh to get an education degree, and he teaches social studies in a town called Roshold, which is also in the middle of nowhere, but in relation, not terribly far from my hometown. So we spend the next half hour catching up on life. What happened to him? What happened to me? Okay, gonna kill that guy. There we go. And we're talking about the healthcare industry. We're talking about we're talking about the teaching industry.
Yeah.
And then after, as that starts to wind down, then I whip out my phone and I bring out the big guns, the Price is Right pictures.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I remember those.
Yes. And that changes the tone of the evening completely, like a complete 180. His eyes lit up. He gives me a huge high five, and I proceed to tell him the whole story behind it. And then I start drawing like just a micro crowd of like 2 to 3 people, including his parents, who happen to own the bar.
Oh, no way.
So, so I'm filling them in and telling them all about this story, and they're excited as hell because I guess my parents, well, my dad especially, has been to that bar many times, but I guess it's just never come up organically. And so now they know.
Yeah.
And
it'd be so cool for your dad, for your friends' parents, for everyone involved.
For real, yeah. I think I'll hang on to this sword.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so we get to talking about a really important subject. Like I mentioned, we graduated high school together almost 20 years ago. Next year is the 20-year reunion.
Oh.
And so here's the thing about this is that there was a 10-year reunion, but not a lot of people went, and he didn't even know that there was a 10-year reunion happening. So I was like, you know what? I'll put in the work to see what's going on and see what we can do about getting a proper 20-year reunion going. So,
hey, good for you.
Yeah, which admittedly, before I spoke with him, I honestly didn't have any interest in going.
Yeah.
Most of the people that I talked to from that time period, well, a lot of them are in the Discord. So
yeah,
I've had, and Josh, I graduated with. Like, he and I have known each other since 6th grade. So
that's a long time.
Oh, for real? Yes. So for me, it originally I was like, well, I'm good. I the people I care about, I keep in contact with, and that's that. But then there's people who have successfully managed to never be online, and they're wondering, well, what the heck? Like,
what happened to all these people?
What happened to all these people? Where'd y'all go? So, so sort of that level, I was like, you know what? There are people that I haven't really spoken to either, and I think I'm interested. So he leaves for the evening. So apparently he's got like 4 kids.
Oh wow!
And he tends bar for his parents, as just to, like, help him out. And then my parents are done drinking for the day, so we head back in my car. And we get home, and my mom, I tell her, hey, you've got to drink this lemonade. You got to stay hydrated. This is good for you. You have to do it. She's like, okay. Tell my dad to do the same thing. He won't. They have been drinking since like 5 in the afternoon, and it was like 11.
Yeah, Dad, get some water.
So I'm like, you really got to get hydrated. My dad's like, no. I'm just, and he immediately goes to bed. And I'm like, this is not going to end well.
We're about to have a bad day, but all right.
Yep. And well, as luck would have it, it was not a good day. And I ended up cleaning up after the situation.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's no fun.
Which, in the moment, it was kind of scary because, there's that turn where you're taking care of
your parents.
Which, if you never did that before, that's an experience.
I have not yet. I'm sure that day will come.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very fortunate at the moment that both of my parents are pretty healthy, active people, so we haven't had any need for that yet, but I'm sure the day will come.
Yeah. But I mean, ultimately everything was fine. My mom was up at like 7 the next morning. My dad needed to hibernate until 11:30, which this man gets up at 5 a.m. So
Yeah, that's oh god, there I go.
yeah, they kind of did a number on us in this one.
Yeah, that room was not cool.
No. But so everything was okay. Everything worked out, and we went and got we went back to the bar to get my dad's truck. And I made a call at that point to my friend Tegan, a fellow classmate from high school, and someone who one of the people that I've kept in touch with this whole time. You know, over the past 20 years, like we were MySpace friends.
Oh wow.
That's
a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Right? Yeah, that's the complexity of our social media relationship. And so I told her originally, hey, need to talk to you like on the phone or something, and then I was like, well, you know what? Why don't I just go over and see her in person, because it's been about 5 years since we hung out proper. She has a house in Wausau. She has an adorable plotter hound dog named Larry. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm due. I'm due to meet this dog. We're due for catching up. And sure enough, she's free. So I go over to her place, and we chill in her backyard and talk the afternoon away. And catch up, and I mean, kind of like what was with kind of like what happened with Shane, except on a much grander scale of catching up, talking about life, getting into like the real nitty gritty, deep conversations that I thrive on.
Yeah.
And then eventually we go get some ice cream because there's a soft serve place that was still open, which I love. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like ice cream of many kinds, but soft serve is my go-to because I grew up on it. So we end up hanging out until like the late afternoon, and then I go over to my sister and my grandma's house. We have dinner, share some stories, and then the next day. So this is Sunday.
Oh my god!
I'm talking things over with my parents, and so one thing I already knew was that my mom is getting hip replacement surgery in a couple of weeks. That's established. That's happening, and so there's a lot of stuff that has to happen to accommodate their house for those changes and whatnot. And they had COVID just the other week, and so they're behind on other things like getting wood ready for the winter because they use wood for heat. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be here every weekend this month. I mean, I'm already coming up for deer hunting in a couple of weeks. What's a few more?
Yeah.
And that guy yeeted me off the platform.
I mean, it's good that you can go do that. It's good that you can be there to help.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a
Absolutely.
really nice weekend.
It was. Yes, it was an outstanding weekend. Probably one of my favorites in recent memory. So that's a thing that's also, happening as a result. Like I'm going up to help. And of course there's deer hunting. I'm also responsible for cooking the turkey this year for Thanksgiving.
Congrats.
Which, the baton has finally been passed.
That's a big responsibility. I've cooked a couple. I I think the best one I ever had was the first year we were married.
Mm-hmm.
We went down to Dallas to my in-laws. And my brother-in-law and their cousin had decided they were going to deep fry a turkey.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, my family does that. Not for Thanksgiving, but just like in general, we have a deep fryer for that.
It is... no one had ever done it before.
Uh-huh.
So literally all of the women are standing behind, 2 cars and some, like, half of the garage with 911 dialed on the phones, like, all right, drop the turkey. And the boys are like, do it. My husband's filming. I'm like, it's good to have that for insurance purposes.
Oh, for real? Yes. Yes.
But that was some of the best turkey I've ever had.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I think the last time I had it was, honestly, it's been like 6 years, I think. We usually, the family usually busts it out for the big family get-togethers, so.
Yeah, we usually, every year or so, we do Friendsgiving a couple weeks beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
Which is nice, you get to, it's the difference between, like, yeah, you love your family, but sometimes it can be a lot. So it's the family that you get to pick.
That's right.
And I've done the turkey for that. I think last year. Don't throw a grenade at me, sir. I'm talking about turkey.
Had a quick backtrack from that grenade.
Please go away, sir. I rubbed the turkey down with duck fat.
Oh.
Like, got under the skin. All over. Just soaked this bird, and it's probably, it was a good turkey.
Hell yeah.
Not as good as the deep fried turkey, but it was good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Deep fried is a whole nother level. But duck fat sounds like an incredible way to prepare one. So
yeah, apparently you can just buy it at Cops.
Oh,
just
sure.
a jar of duck fat.
Yeah.
Which is,
why not?
a thing that you don't really think about in your day-to-day life, and then all of a sudden you're in a Cops thinking, yeah, that sounds like a good purchase.
How many different fats can I buy today?
They have like a whole jar of rendered bacon fat. I'm like,
ooh.
I thought about it real hard, and then I'm like, I don't want to kill people today. Now, it'll be an interesting holiday for us. Part of the reason that the last couple of weeks have been interesting is my grandmother, my dad's mom, was driving. Ah, fuck. There I go. She was driving and ran a red light and got completely T-boned.
Oh no.
I don't want to say she's okay, because she's not. They had to take her to the hospital. She has several screws in her right ankle, and then the other one, they've got it in this like bizarre immobilizer cage, and they're kind of like, if it even heals into large enough fragments, we can talk about screwing those fragments together. But
Jesus.
Yeah, she had bruised her hands so badly she couldn't like feed herself. She'd cracked some ribs. I would not be surprised about a concussion. Like, it was a very, very bad car accident. Like,
wow. I mean, it's fortunate that she survived, but I mean, damn, that's a lot to. That's a lot to bounce back from.
It's a lot, and it's one of those where she's not young. She's like 85, something like that.
Oh yeah.
And
yep. I have a grandma who's 88, so I feel you. I feel you.
I think we're going the wrong way. We've already murdered people in this room.
There's already bodies here.
I've already been here. Hold
Fresh
on a
blood.
minute. But we knew that the conversation was eventually coming of the, no, give us the keys, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
But this has totally like forced it way sooner than we thought. Because she's still very much mentally there. Oh, hi, sir! but now it's not just that. It's we have to have the discussion about selling her home because she's always lived, at least as long as I've known her, in this 2-story townhome where even to get from like the living room to the first floor washroom, you have to go up a step. Well, she's probably going to be in a wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
Can't even get... Yeah, there's a lot. So we've been trying to figure all of that out. So that's been very, very... not what you'd want right before the holidays. And then... Oh, that's bad. Hold on. Don't shoot that at me, sir. You know, a week later, unfortunately, one of my cousins very abruptly, very unexpectedly passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm dead.
Oh, yeah, we both.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
That was
unprofessional.
Uncalled for. I'm calling the cops. But yeah, it has been a very strange couple of weeks just because all of that. So those holidays are going to be really interesting. So yeah, we're just trying to, I don't know, that it's one of those very strange things about my cousin passing. He and I were never super close. He was the oldest on that side, and I'm one of the youngest on that side, so it's like we never really hung out. By the time that he was done with pretty much most of the stuff that I was going through, it was several...
I died, by the way. It's
Oh, cool. I'm gonna go.
I thought manning a turret was a good idea with, a lot of Covenant right there, and well, turns out
could have been.
Turns out they can charge you to death.
Died in the air, like falling in front of me. That was terrifying. Just all of a sudden a corpse.
What the hell?
Ow.
Stop charging your laser.
He dead? No, he's being a bitch. Oh, I have no more grenades. Hey, maybe I shouldn't be there. Real quick reassess of life.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's tough when you're dealing with family that you don't have those kind of ties with.
Yeah, and it was, again, it was super unexpected. It was something that I didn't know until like it happened. Just one of those very weird things where you're not sure if you're more confused or upset about the things that you learned after they've passed, or that the fact that you're like,
you might consider sitting
what?
This one out.
What? Okay, so quick side detour from the awful things that are happening in my family life.
Yeah.
This looks familiar because this is the Chamber of the Arbiter. So we were here before. Yeah. What's happening right now is what will later become known as the Great Schism.
Okay.
The elites and the breaking of the... Don't shoot me! Don't!
They seem to be preoccupied.
But yeah, so the Covenant is essentially breaking. Oh, hey, buddy! But yeah, the Covenant is essentially breaking apart because the elites are mad because they got kicked off the council. You're alive. I'm dead.
Stop running after me.
Nice.
Wow. That
Yeah. So the elites are mad because they got kicked off the council. The brutes are just rude. And so everyone's like, all right, everybody fight. And so that's what's happening.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I'm back.
There
Thank
we go.
you.
Mm-hmm. Figured if I walked around long enough, it would determine that it was a safe spot.
That is what's happening in game right now. Just kind of cool to watch because if you can sneak through long enough, they will actually just take care of each other.
Ah.
For the most part.
The only thing is I just really enjoy the murder.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely. That is fair, valid. I respect that choice.
Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
That's right.
That's it.
Hang on.
So yeah, that was I mean, yeah, that was a heck of a weekend I had, but I also picked up
They'll need your help.
an OLED switch,
I saw that.
and
Is it worth it?
the screen is beautiful. Like, I am legit impressed with how solid it looks. The dock has an included gigabit Ethernet port, which is
Ooh,
great because I don't need to use a USB adapter anymore.
That's really nice.
It does have better battery life, not just because it has an OLED screen, but I think the processor is the same, but it uses smaller transistor distance, so there's a little bit better battery life as well. So all I got to do is just offload the old one, and I get the feeling that's going to take some time. So Christmas is starting up, so I mean,
I was gonna say Christmas now's like that time to grab, Christmas stuff.
The hopes of all the Covenant rest on
so I did sell something that I was trying to sell for a really long time today. I had my old Elgato capture card, the one that used to be in my the PC that I'm playing on.
Hey.
So there was a guy who wanted to get into streaming, and I'm like, dude, this is perfect. So so there's that. I'm also putting in overtime at work to get stuff paid for. I had to drop $400 on my car last week.
Oh no.
Yeah, the joys of a wheel bearing going bad, which you can't let that run too long.
No.
Or you'll start having real problems. So
yeah, I can imagine.
But it's necessary. So and I was also grateful that it wasn't worse than that. So there was that, and then one other thing. This all kind of happened like the same day. So this was all on that same Friday that I was telling you about, the one with going to that bar and all that. Game kind of locked up for a minute there.
Yeah, it's just having a feeling.
So in the same day, I had to pay $400 on my car. I bought that used Switch. They call it the Swold. So Switch OLED, and then also Analog, which I think if you caught it in the Discord, I think I mentioned it there, that Analog was selling their premium Super Nintendo for the last time on Friday, and that was another $240. So my wallet is very angry at me.
Yeah, but some of that needed to be spent, kind of a deal.
It had to be done.
Yes.
I love my Super Nintendo, and I had always missed out on those Analog systems when they sold them, because it's like how do I put it? It's like getting premium. Oh,
sword.
Thank you. It's like getting like premium top shelf rum.
Gotcha.
You are getting this because you like that. You like rum that much. You want
Got
to
it.
You want to get the good stuff, and so this is that equivalent, because it's using this technology where the circuit board basically tells the hardware, you are a Super Nintendo and you're going to act like it 100%.
Ooh.
It's not software emulation. It's not even hardware emulation. There's no emulation. It's instruction telling it it's a Super Nintendo.
That's really crazy.
Yes. So the upside to that is that you can also get native 1080p resolution from a Super Nintendo.
I don't think that was like that's not a thing that we could have done in the original.
With the original? No. You can get close because the original has, they called it a multi-out adapter, which is just this weird looking plug. And Nintendo put that on their Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, and the GameCube. And that multi-out would get you composite out, which would just be, depending on what the hardware could do, either 240i or 480i.
Okay.
And however, that port natively supports RGB output, which can get you to a 720p signal effectively. In a way, it's like it's like the native RGB. Kind of think like what's a good way to put this? Composite video like 480i, 240i. That's like deliberately holding back the true resolution of what that console can do. So by getting native RGB out, you're getting the there's no noise between the video output of the console and what's being shown on the TV.
Oh.
So
there's none of that potential loss.
Right. There's no potential loss. There's no fuzziness. No blurred text. So
That's nice.
yeah, and there's always been this hobbyist movement for getting native RGB out on these consoles. And there's a guy on YouTube, I think he calls himself LRG. I might be mistaken, but he works on old custom builds of PCs and stuff for a living. And he figured out how to mod an old CRT television for native RGB, which was like really impressive and also borderline dangerous because he was soldering things on the circuit board of the television itself.
Oh.
But he was able to install a little manual switch that went because he was able to install component video on the back of the TV, and so he had a switch where he had both of those plugged in and showed you the difference between the native between the composite out and then the native RGB out over component. And the color, the sharpness, the colors, night and day difference with how good it looked. It was incredible.
Interesting.
Now, this guy just scolded me for shooting him. He's like, "Can you not see?" I'm like, "No." Well, he talked me out of violence, so I guess
violence is not always the answer.
Yep.
You know what? Sometimes it do be like that.
Yeah, I'm honestly impressed. He got me to stop. I could have just killed him, and I didn't.
I respect and admire your restraint.
So yeah, that's kind of the backstory behind why these analog consoles are really cool.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
So yeah, I'm looking. So here's another way to look at it. Like, Nintendo released.
You're.
Haha. Oh no.
Yep.
I didn't plan for this. This is not going to end well for me.
Go into one of the doors on the side. Oh. Or die.
Or yeah, that's also an option. So another way to look at it is that Nintendo, like a few years ago, they released like the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, and there were these little micro consoles that connected to HDMI, and they had like games pre-installed on them. But the thing is that those are emulators.
Yeah.
So
it's not.
And even though people figured out how to add more games to them, the emulator that's running them, it can't go 100% full emulation. Like I have Mega Man X, I have the whole Mega Man X trilogy on cartridge, and you know, I play it on a Super Nintendo, they run just fine. But when you look up compatibility stuff with the SNES Classic, it'll say, oh yeah, Mega Man X2 works fine for the most part, but there's like a couple of boss fights where things get weird on screen. And then like Mega Man X3 just doesn't work, period. And you know, I see that and I'm like, but I want it to just work.
But I want you to Todd Howard this. Just works.
Yes.
But like better than Todd Howard.
Mm-hmm. Another example is one of my favorite RPGs ever, Super Mario RPG. And you know, I have played that game so many times, but when I play it on an emulator, whether it's like Virtual Console on the Wii or if it's the Super Nintendo Classic, there is a move in that game called the Super Jump that you can perform on an enemy, and you can perform that move up to 100 times in a row. But it requires you to be frame perfect in your button execution, which on the console is entirely possible. And I've done it, and you get one of the coolest, most powerful pieces of armor in the game. Hey, nice job.
Organs.
And so on the cartridge you can do that no problem, but on emulation there's a known problem with that working, where it will not understand, where it won't be able to correctly catch your button input. So if you manage to get 100, it's entirely by accident.
Luck and not.
And yeah, by luck, yes. And not skill.
It's annoying.
Yeah. So yeah, being able to like bust out my actual cartridges for this thing and then stream it on Twitch is what I'm really looking forward to the most with it. It's not just going to be, oh, this is my Super Nintendo that I keep attached to my 55-inch television. It's like, that's nice, but I have games I legitimately actually want to play.
Yeah.
On Twitch that I can't otherwise because of those drawbacks. So yeah, I'm excited as fuck for it. If you can't tell.
No, it's good to hear. Like, hearing people get passionate about the stuff that they like is awesome. Even if I don't necessarily understand all of it, it's, I don't know. I feel like that's one of the things that you can do to be a good friend and human is like, I don't have to understand. I'm happy that you're happy and you are clearly jazzed out of your brains. So even if all I have to do is put in the effort to try and understand, even if I don't fully understand, it makes you happy. And that makes me happy.
Hey.
Oh, hey, you're alive.
Hey, I'm alive. All right. That's a really good way to put it. Thank you. Luke has said that to me many times on the things that I get jazzed about. I'm happy you're happy, and I always give him shit for it because it always sounds a little just a hair condescending. Like, I'm happy you're happy. I'm like, yeah, okay, buddy. Yeah. I know he doesn't mean that at all. Luke is one of the sweetest men who has ever lived, but
but I know my husband will say that too sometimes. And it fully is tone. It is sometimes very much a, I'm happy that they're happy. You're like, yeah, got it.
Like, yeah, are you though? Ooh, a fuel rod cannon.
Oh God. Careful, those shots bounce for reasons that make no sense.
All right. Index finger is firmly off the trigger. We'll wait this one out.
Are we good?
Okay. Can I melee with this thing? I can.
You can.
Oh my! Oh my!
Bonk.
Let's
Bonk. Go back to horny jail.
That's a big snoot booper.
A lot of dudes hold up.
All right. Technically, I didn't kill that. I didn't destroy that. Come on, come on. 2 boops. 2 boops to the snoot, and that guy was out.
Yeah.
This gun is amazing.
Right?
All right. So let's see. What else happened? I was in Milwaukee a couple of weeks ago with my friend Zach.
Nice.
And we went to there's a basilica on a hill that's like northwest of Milwaukee, and it's in this super hilly place. And of course, it being fall time,
Oh,
it was.
I'm sure it was gorgeous.
It was incredible.
Yeah, we hiked a bit of the Ice Age Trail this past Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Okay. There's
Yeah,
more.
I tried out booping that guy's snoot, and he wasn't having it.
Push. I don't think I can push it.
Oopsie, kind of walked
Your
into
car.
that one. Thank you.
Out of my way, peasants. Martin O'Donnell and his 7,000 drums and guitars commands that we go places.
Yes. Get hyped.
Yeah, no, one of my friends, summer 2021, tried to hike a good chunk of the Ice Age Trail.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately for her, she did it like in the middle of June. So it was hot, it was sweaty, and she ended up having to like bail after like 30 miles. Which is still pretty impressive, but
That
also
is.
like she was also not like allowed to walk for a couple weeks after because she had such horrible blisters.
Oh, yeah, that's real.
But she does want to get like 1,000 miles on the trail at some point, so she's just been trying to walk the whole thing in different segments.
Okay.
So we've been just joining her for day hikes as possible
Oh.
because it's pretty, it's fun. Obviously not so much now because it's cold.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's cold and most of the leaves are gone. They have that default look that they're going to have until mid-April.
Yeah.
But, you know, some trees are being stubborn, and
Hanging on.
I am blessed with neighbors who keep running their electric leaf blower every time the tree happens to do anything, rather than just wait for it to be done. Because why wait for it to be done? We need to stand around and feel important all day.
How will people know that our yard is perfect?
For 3 hours straight. Like, my brother in Christ, you could just wait.
Ah! Stop touching me! Oh, he touched me too hard.
Got him.
I...
Don't think there's a...
Yep, there's one right here.
Oh, okay, very good.
Huzzah! My Uber is here. So, bonk. I think I posted about this in the Discord, but I weaponized my HOA against my neighbor, who I have mentioned before. This is nothing against standard poodles. These particular standard poodles are assholes of the highest degree.
Okay.
So, whoa, that's a tank! Wow, that's spicy. Ah, my organs. I could not find the reverse gear. So poodles stay on their side of the lawn, we stay on ours. It's not a big deal. These are the same poodles I think I'd mentioned on the 4th of July got out and attacked another dog that was walking past.
Oh, yeah. I remember that now, yeah.
Well, the owners, our neighbors, he works for the developer of the neighborhood. So he, because he works for the company, he kind of got probably a decent price, much as you can find in this economy, on the home. But it also means he should know about things like the HOA rules and regulations.
Absolutely.
And several weeks, if not a month or so ago.
You taking over that tank?
No, because someone just grenaded it.
Oh.
We noticed we were out in the back with Senor Flufflebutt. I'm also I'm wet. And there were some different people there, and we're like, oh, maybe they're family or friends or something that are coming to visit, and they're out in the back because it's a nice day. And they had some small kids. Not a big deal. The kids come up to the fence and they ask, "Can we pet your dog?" Sure, he's super friendly, not a big deal.
Sure.
And the parents are like, "Thanks, we're staying at this Airbnb. It's so nice. We're going to the Badgers game and blah blah blah." And we're like, "What?"
Oh.
So we ended up catching him the next weekend, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we're renting it out on Airbnb and stuff, just make a couple extra dollars." Like, okay, kind of wish you said something, because now we have thanks for killing me, sniper. That was uncalled for. Because now it's one of those, not to be that paranoid suburban. I was like, we don't know who's coming into your home next door. Like, how often is this gonna be? You didn't exactly warn us. Not that you need to, but... Well, a couple weeks go by, and, there's different people there. Fine, it is what it is. And eventually, I'm out for a walk, and I end up... Oh my god, space. Hi. Okay, there's a tank here. We should watch out for that.
Noted.
There's 2 tanks, by the way.
Oh dear.
Sir, let me run you over.
Yeah, that's one tank.
Yep, the other one hasn't come. Oh.
And...
Oh, a crash.
Connection lost. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What incarnation?
I just got booted straight to the
Me
menu.
too.
Interesting. It could not handle particles.
Yeah. They're like, nah, you can't be sitting up there attacking the tank with your ghost. Nope.
Nope, none 5U.
Good grief.
Yeah. So I finally ended up talking with another neighbor around the corner, and she was like, yeah, apparently our HOA does not allow you to rent on a short-term basis like Airbnb. If you do like a long-term basis, like a couple months, year, that sort of thing, that's one thing.
Different. Yes.
That's different. And
why am I suddenly liking your HOA? Why am I?
Yeah, I was like, I don't like this. Wait, what?
What the hell? I love HOAs now.
Oops, I've become suburban white mom.
And I mean, just because Airbnbs are a real contributor to housing market prices being what they are. Anyway, please continue.
And I was like, because she was saying there were other people in the neighborhood who had been shut down for doing this. Specifically, there was a single mom who was like, I am using this, to rent rooms so that I can have extra spending cash for me and my kids. And she got shut down. Like, no one had complained, but someone heard about it, complained. She got shut down.
Yep.
And I was like, this guy works for the developer. There's no way he doesn't know that this is not okay. And he's basically clearly flaunting it. Well, I'm sorry, buddy. I know. I moved slightly quickly, and Tavi just was like, "Where are you going?" Nothing. It's fine. Go back to bed, buddy. So I had been trying to get a hold of the people who run it because it's run by a third party. No one had gotten back to us, and then I think it was like last weekend, and oh my god, we're back at the start.
Yeah, no. It's okay. We got time.
Stupid brutes crashing my game. So yeah, we notice all of these cars are parking out there, and we're like, it must be another Airbnb. Fine. And we're like, there's a lot of cars. Like a lot of cars. Not that we're no straight, like not that we don't like to have a good party every once in a while, but, you know, so we were out taking Tavers for a walk, and we come back, and there's two people outside with their jewel pods and, you know, the things that the kids smoke these days.
Oh, sure. Yes.
No offense to people who vape. I don't care for it. Never have. But that's also from an asthmatic.
Right.
Where I'm like, help! I don't need help wheezing.
Yeah, this is it's a legit health concern.
Yeah, and we were like, hey, what's going on? Where's the party? And they're like, oh, it's right here at the Airbnb, bro. And they were so loud. They had the back door of theirs open. They were so loud that we could hear them. I'm like,
oh man.
You know, we could still sleep, but we ended up talking with our friends who are neighbors on the other side, and they were like, yeah, they kept us up a decent amount of the night. Because, this brute killed me.
No,
it's okay, he can...
I got him.
Nice. And so the next night, we were having our own friends over, so we're like, we really can't be upset about this, because... But then they were also just as loud. And... So finally, Monday morning, I got a hold of someone at the Airbnb and put on my best innocent, you know, big doe eyes. Oh, I was just wondering. I was like, hey, I was curious. Are we allowed to rent spare rooms and stuff on like Airbnb, Vrbo, that sort of thing? Lady was like, no, that's against the bylaws. And I said, that's really interesting because, I'm dead again. It's also interesting, not just because I'm dead.
I almost had him. I swear I did. I swear I almost had him.
I saw it. Confirmed. It was interesting because I was like, you know, our neighbor seems to, he's had some guests and it's never been a problem before, but I said, this last weekend the guests were really rowdy. I know another neighbor complained to us that they were keeping them up and we could hear them, you know, out the windows and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not one to tell you to not have a good time. I was like, if they're not supposed to, and, you know, I'd prefer that they didn't.
Right.
So she's like, yeah, can you give me, like, what's your address and who, you know, what's the address of the person next to you? I was like, yeah, and I found the listing and we looked at it and like, yeah, if we could rent out, like, for the weekends that we're not home, rent it out to people who are well vetted and make that, we would make a decent amount of money and be able to pay off the home. So I understand the why people do it, good lord.
Yep.
But I was like, yeah, if we're shutting down single moms who just want some extra cash for their kids and stuff like that, as opposed to this, you know, husband and wife pair who both work at decent jobs. Yeah, no, come on, guys. Not cool.
Yep. If one of you can't have it, then the rest of you can't either.
Yep. It very much felt like a rules for thee, but not for me.
Yes. Which
was very frustrating. And so I think actually the next day we were outside enjoying our new screened-in sunroom. And he was out in the backyard, and we're like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, yeah, sorry if there was people keeping you up. And we're like, I mean, it didn't bother us, but I know it bothered some other people. What was going on? He's like, yeah, we didn't really vet the Airbnb people as well as we should have. There was only supposed to be 8 people. There's more like 10. They were having a party because it was UW's homecoming.
Uh-huh.
I was like, got it. A whole bunch of freshly graduated college kids came back, rented a house, and all of a sudden it's all fair game. I see what happened. Apparently they did some damage to some of his property. They had a fire in a fire pit, but then didn't know how to put it out, so they took the plastic umbrella stand
what?
And decided to like put that on top to smother it. So plastic on top of a fire went about as well as you'd expect.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, I think we're going to be done with that, the renting for a while. And Chris and I, my husband and I, are just looking at each other like, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be.
Shit.
And you deserve it, and you had that coming. That's karma.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. They're not necessarily bad people.
No.
But your dogs have attacked other people, another animal in the neighborhood. You know about these rules and you just kind of flaunted them.
Yep, and they try to be above them, and
it was not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, this is not me advocating for HOAs.
No.
HOAs can be very gross and awful.
But it's just amazing that like you have this one instance.
The one
they
time.
Weren't terrible.
I know. It's
amazing.
The nice thing will be is that when all of the houses and stuff are sold, they'll turn over control to everyone who lives there, because right now it's managed by someone else, and we can get rid of some of these stupid rules and regulations that no one likes. Where they're like, you can only have one style, color, and material of fence, and we're like, okay, but every other neighborhood around us can have more than one color and style option. They're like, yeah, but we decided not you. So we can change that. Oh, and height. That's the other thing.
Yuck.
I'm like, I hate it.
Yep.
Obviously, we already have the fence in. There's nothing we can really do about it now, but, things like that. It'll be nice when we don't have to deal with it.
Right. It's dumb that you have to deal with that, but it's pretty great that you spoke up about the situation, because there are people who would otherwise just quietly seethe because they don't want to rock the boat.
And honestly, if I hadn't found out that other people had been shut down for the same thing, and then it hadn't been loud, like they'd all been respectful, cool
then
guests,
it'd be different.
I probably wouldn't have said anything. I would have been like, you know what? To each their own. I'm not crazy about it, but if that's what you want, that's what you want. Go for it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's different when you have Airbnb guests who are courteous, who are normal people doing normal things.
And I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, I've used Airbnb before. Why? Shot in the back.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
That was me. I was shooting I was shooting and how else do I put it? But
I walked into it. Yeah.
You may have walked into a couple of my bullets. I will consider it an alternative strategy.
But no, I've used a couple Airbnbs before that are really nice. It's essentially people's home where they're like, yeah, this is my home. It's a spare room, and this helps us pay the mortgage, have the extra spending money. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the problem that I have is where it's like, yeah, we're renting out this house because we're going to be in our other house, our summer chateau.
Yes. Oh, I can't stand that.
And I mean, I can't talk too much crap about that. I know
It's different if you're renting it out proper. Like one of my friends is in a house where the guy who owns it, he's currently in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
And he's renting it out to several people. And it is a... I've been hijacked off of my own ghost.
It's uncalled for.
That's okay, I blew it up.
Oh.
What was I saying?
Renting a house in Australia.
Yeah, he's in Australia, so he rents out his house, and it's also he has a strict screening process because it's an LGBT friendly house. So, like, and it's all long term renting. I mean, it's still technically his house.
Yes,
and I'm pretty sure that he has a bedroom in there somewhere, but I appreciate when the houses are being used in that regard, at the very least. This temporary Airbnb stuff, I mean, I lean more towards hotels now for that reason. Like, originally I thought it was cool, but now it's I've soured on Airbnb ever since the Great Hangout back in January. Where there were 3 windows open, and they had been open for what must have been at least a week. And walking into that house, the thermostat read like 29 degrees. And it took something to the effect of 12 hours for the heat to warm it
Bring
up
it
enough. Yeah, to an acceptable level. And it was one of those places that was clearly flipped in Detroit, specifically to be used as an Airbnb. There was nobody was living there. And everything in it was pretty soulless.
Yeah.
The beds were the beds were technically memory foam mattresses on planks of plywood held up on cinder blocks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
And I can even get with like short-term vacation rentals if you take care of it. So
sure.
One of my uncles, before he moved in there, he and my aunt bought a place up near Michigan, not UP, the Mitten part.
Okay.
And it was, they had it all themed out, like beach themed, and each room was really nice. And when they weren't there, they rented it through an agency. And it was like it could hold so many people, and they would be able to rent it for like a week. And it was right near Lake Michigan, so he was like, clearly you go down to the beach, you come back, you grill. Like, that's kind of what that community just is.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes that's the way that a community just is. But they did it, they still owned it, and they still had the right to be like, yeah, we get these weekends. And no one can take these or these weeks, and we'll come rent them. We can rent it for the other times, but this is where we're at. Like, this is our house. And then eventually they stopped renting it altogether, and now they live there full time. So it works out, because that was their ultimate plan. They were like, yeah, we'll rent it for a few years to get the money and get all that stuff. But even then, if you're doing it right with the purpose of like, yeah, it's a vacation home, and if we're not going to use it for our vacation, we want others to be able to use it for theirs too. Like, that almost makes, I can have more sense of that as opposed to just we got this for the sole purpose of Airbnb. It's an investment property, essentially.
Right. Yeah, we got it so we can be a pseudo landlord. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Be an actual landlord. Don't.
And I know my folks even did that. Not quite that much. They bought a small house that definitely needed some love. Tanks.
Oh dear.
And they were kind of fixing it up with the intent that maybe, depending on how it went, they were like, we would downsize into it. And that didn't work. Like, it took them a little bit before they realized they're like, this isn't going to work out for us. We don't want to, do that. And so while they were trying to figure out if they were going to sell it or move into it, they were renting it. Because they're like, we don't want it to sit empty. We've taken a lot of time and effort to make it livable. And they eventually did sell it right at the beginning of COVID to, I think, a nice couple. And it worked out because that couple was like, yeah, you had this weird shed type thing in the back that you turned into essentially like an in-law suite. And that was perfect for what they needed. They're like, yeah, so-and-so's parents are going to go live in there. And,
yeah, okay.
So they're right there. So, I mean, it can be done responsibly. It's just so many people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when big corporations are doing that thing of like, we're going to buy the homes and just rent them to people.
Yes. Oh, I can't stand that. And then they'll let the properties just sit empty.
Yeah. Which is why I think we have that clause of no Airbnbs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're going to want to come see this. I forgot this was here.
Oh?
Behold, my stuff.
Oh! Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? My murder collection is almost complete.
Right? Forgot this was here.
Oh, this is all lovely.
But yeah, like, because we were even talking, we have a friend, and I won't say that their relationship is necessarily bad, but I would say that this friend has expectations of their relationship that I don't think are accurate. They want one thing, and their partner doesn't necessarily seem to...
Sorry. Yeah, they got me good.
Vengeance! But this friend's partner, it sometimes seems that they don't always see eye to eye on, like, how this should work. Kind of that sense of, like, you're going through the motions because that's what you see all your friends doing, kind of a deal. But is that actually what you want, or is it actually...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's one of those, we're not getting any younger. So there's that sense of, like, well, if I don't do it now, is it ever going to happen?
Oh, no.
And again, looking around when all of your friends your age are married or in a long-term relationship and you're not, there's that sense of, is there something wrong with me? Is it, why am I not where I should be? Which is completely bogus. Hi.
Yes, it is bogus. But yeah, please continue. You're preaching to the choir a lot here.
No, I know I'm preaching. Like, I've always admired that you seem to have a very healthy sense of, oh, why did that explode? But it's something where I'm like, this friend hasn't always had that good, healthy outlook. So there's a worry of you rebounded into this relationship very, very quickly, and then you moved very quickly through it. Like, just before a year in, they signed a lease with this person, and it was one of those where we're all like, ugh, you're moving to an area of town that you've said before you don't like. Halfjaw, another character who cannot possibly be killed. He doesn't know how.
So speedrun commitment percent.
Yeah.
Running through all that stuff.
Well, it kind of... This person, they ended up getting an animal that they were highly allergic to.
Oh,
unfortunately, had to return the animal. Because they were like, I can't be in my own home.
This sounds like someone who keeps bending over backwards to ensure that the relationship continues without conflict.
I would say that, and I would agree with you in this particular case. The other party is very passive, very, very, like, go with the flow doesn't really have a lot, at least as far as we see them together.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a lot of bending in any direction, it doesn't look like.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of those where it's like, I guess. Yeah, it was.
Okay, so it's not a matter of one person wants these things and the other person is finding it. It's more of that they're just making these decisions that you usually give proper time and consideration to.
Yeah, and it's a, like, we would say, you know, when I moved in with my husband, when we were dating, it was something that we talked about where I was like, it makes sense for me to do this at this time, but if it ever didn't, or if he had said, I'd rather you get your own place for now, that would have been a discussion.
Right.
And again, we're not in the room with these people when these things happened. It just seemed an awful lot like this person was like, well, this is what we're supposed to do, so we're signing this lease in this area of town because it's cool and it's hip, even though I personally don't like it, and my friends are all 30 minutes away.
I don't want to chance a remote detonation.
Oh.
To stay here.
Yeah. So
Yeah, those are some choices.
there are choices, but we were talking, we're like, if... Oh.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
Got a little nervous there for a second.
I was like, not again.
I can't go back.
But where that all ties into renting, I swear there was a point.
Oh, we're circling back to... Okay, all right.
I promise. We had talked, we're like, if that friend ever comes to us and is like, this person and I split up, it's not going well, I can't stay there anymore, can I stay with you until I find another place? We agree, like, husband and I agreed that we would definitely be, like, okay with it, but we'd probably go and draw up, like, a very basic renter's agreement, kind of saying, this is what you will pay for, you know, this is the terms for a month. Because we're like, it's not just for our protection, it's also for anyone else who is renting.
Right.
Airbnb, there's just not a lot of that. It's just it's very Wild West.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every listing is different in terms of what they'll have you do or not do.
I'm tall. I'm sure. Oof. But yeah, that is the long and short of renting, and oof.
Wow.
There is something nice about owning to a certain extent.
You have equity.
Equity.
That's a big one.
There's a certain amount of, you know, fuck you, it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a deal.
You can have a dog. You have a dog.
I don't know.
You don't have anyone. Oh, go ahead.
He is asleep on top of like 7 toys right now. But yeah, we have a dog.
Yeah.
And we don't have to like pay extra. But that plays into something that we've always talked about, is you either spend the money to get the time, or you spend the time and save the money.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, oh man, I really don't like cleaning the dishes. Throwing that out there as an option.
Yep.
We could hire a service to come in once every week or something like that and do all our dishes.
Sure. Absolutely, you could.
Money. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not willing to spend money for someone to do dishes. I can do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go.
Right.
You are saving the money, but you are spending your time.
Right.
And the way we've looked at renting is, you are spending the extra money that you won't get in like equity and all that stuff to get the time back of not having to maintain a lawn, not having to maintain the property completely, that sort of thing.
That is exactly what I was going to point out. I am delightfully bored sometimes in my in my apartment because I don't have to do those things.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm just going to scroll TikTok for a while because
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything else.
And I will say this, I take a certain amount of joy in yard work.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't mind having a yard.
It would be, and it would be, to be clear, it would be different if I was a homeowner at this time. And it's a matter of really accepting the pros versus the cons. Or no, not that. No, the other way around. Accepting the cons with the pros.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, if that's a thing that you want to do. Okay, not this way, apparently.
Okay.
Door locked. And it's nice, because we don't ever... Well, unless we were being excessively loud and outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
It's something where it's like, I don't really worry about... Does it? Okay, it does go. I don't necessarily worry if I'm in the basement or I'm yelling at a video game, am I bothering my upstairs, downstairs, next door neighbors?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big one.
Oh, hi! Hello, friends.
Not having to worry about that at all. I'm aware of the types of neighbors I've had over the years who, and to be clear, because I've been renting since I was 21. So I guess 16 years I've been renting. And this place that I'm living in is the most peaceful apartment complex I've ever lived in. But
Nice.
It does come with some caveats. Like my upstairs neighbors, previous tenants used to play the acoustic guitar, which wasn't loud enough to really appreciate. You could just kind of hear that it was happening.
Yeah.
There was a cat who would have the zoomies and run down the hallway. And you'd be like, oh God.
What's happening?
What's scuttling?
We're under attack.
What the hell is scuttling across the floor? And you're like, oh, right, it's the cat. And I've also had upstairs neighbors who, if I stay up too late, it was like 2:30 in the morning on a Saturday, I think I was still awake. Couldn't hear them having sex upstairs. It's like, well, good for you. But it's a little weird being able to hear it. And that's kind of the worst of it, is that it's a little weird.
There's a certain level of unwanted and unagreed upon intimacy, I think.
Yes.
When you're living in an apartment. And not to put too fine a point on it like you were saying, but you can hear people having discussions. Maybe you can't make out all of it, but then you're like, I'm part of this and I don't want to be here?
Yep. Oh, those are nice noises to hear.
Yeah,
coming
this
up.
is horrible. Also, the worst.
Parasite did not defeat the Torah. It shall not defeat us.
Well, I found it was useless. Oh, and my current tenant, my current upstairs neighbor, pees really loudly.
Oh boy.
That's a weird thing to hear. It's like he's just really putting his pelvic floor to work.
Oh boy.
It's like, you okay, dude?
Seek physician assistance.
You're trying to bore a hole through the porcelain?
Pelvic floor issues are more common than one would initially think, and they can be very difficult to fix without physician intervention.
Yes.
Please take care of your muscles.
Yes, for real. But I mean, I've lived in places where I've had really noisy neighbors above me, below me, and whatnot. And college housing especially can be problematic too. You have the windows open. You're just enjoying a nice summer night, and then some group of people are walking to their apartment and they're hooting and hollering, and it's like 3 a.m. and you don't want to close your window, but they woke you up.
So you have to.
Yep. But
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say my second college apartment. I thought it was a landing place, is the way we described it. It was a bad situation. I had to leave the original apartment like 6 weeks into the school year. Just bad roommate situation, and
that's unfortunate.
It was for the best, but it was a landing place.
Mm-hmm.
I had the door locked, but it was during a storm.
Okay.
And the door blew wide open as like thunder was cracking.
Oh, jeez.
And because I'm living alone, young woman in college, just that kind of fear.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I screamed and cried, and I think the next I called my parents, and I think the next day they what the fuck behind you.
Oh, I had just turned around. Where all these jerks come from?
God damn it, Gravemind, this is not the time.
For real.
But yeah, no, the next day my dad had overnighted me a Y bar. Have you seen these? Where it's like a Y at one end and the other end like is flush with the floor, so you stick it under the doorknob.
Oh.
So even if someone can like unlock the door, they can't get in because it's essentially the same as propping a chair underneath the door to stop someone coming in, but stronger.
Okay.
But yeah, one of those showed up because evidently the lock was not up to muster.
Wow.
Yeah, that was not my worst apartment, but it was the scariest experience.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
renting is wild.
Renting is wild, yes.
Well, yeah, because I think last time we talked, you were talking about you rented
murder
a
apartment.
House. Yeah, the murder apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. That guy that tried killing me before fired a rocket on him. He's thinking about what he did.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as renting goes, I see myself staying here for the foreseeable future since, and I think we talked about this before you got your new job.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But my rent is still lower than the average mortgage. So.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yes. So I think I'm doing okay. But one of the advantages that comes with renting, besides what was already mentioned, was that if something were to happen where I had to move, it is significantly easier for me to move than if I was a homeowner.
That's true.
So, but that does not mean that renting in that regard is, always the superior choice.
Yeah. And there's something like, while it's sad to leave an apartment, especially if you've been there for a while, it's not, I don't know, there's, at least for me, there was not as much emotional attachment as it was when we sold our first house.
This crisis will not be the end of
Because that was really sad to me. I'm like, this is our first house. God, the flood.
Oh dear.
We bought this house.
Oh, dear.
Behind you.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
And now I'm fleeing.
Run away! Run away! But yeah, when we sold our first house, it was, this is the first house we bought together, so there's that. It was a house that we not got married in, but like when we were doing all our wedding planning, we played all of the Halos leading up to the wedding in that house.
Yeah.
That was the house that we brought Tavi home in.
Yeah.
There was a lot of memories and good times in that house. And it's one of those where you're still sad to leave it.
Oh, absolutely.
in a different way than the apartment was. Like, I was still sad about that, but not, I don't know, not the same way. Oh,
shit, they got me in a corner.
I saw that. I was like, well, F.
I'm not dead yet.
You're not quite dead.
They'll run out of HP eventually. Oh god.
Oh my god.
I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet. Flee! Flee!
Run away!
My precious,
Run
precious
away!
shield. Why won't you die? It's all right. I'm still alive. Okay, please continue. No! No!
That's a heartbreaker right there.
Oh! Come
Yeet!
the fuck on.
This bitch empty. But we've seen it happen a couple times actually in this neighborhood where it was like, these are mostly pretty much new homes. Either people are buying them, you know, fresh, not fresh. Makes it sound like it's a pear or something. This delicious house pear. Home equity.
Indeed.
Stop touching me! Stop the touching. I'm dead again. God bless it.
Well, now I have 2 rifles, so...
Ho ho.
So maybe this will work out better.
I hope so.
I have strategies that don't involve... Well, it involves that.
I like that strategy. It's a good
That's
strategy.
helpful.
Good strats. But we've seen like a house that we watched go up, get built, someone moved in, and then no joke, like 4 or 6 months later, it was on the market.
Oh man.
And we don't know. Oh my god, I'm back!
Yay! All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
You know, there was a house we moved in. We're like, yeah, that must have been built in the last year, and then
wow,
in 6 months of us moving in, they sold it. And it could be stuff where it's like, especially during the pandemic, a lot of people, if their jobs went fully remote, they sold the house where it was super expensive, and they're like, yeah, if it's fully remote, I can live anywhere.
Yes.
Why would I stay here?
Exactly.
And
oh god, that reminds me of that article that I shared from Medium where that guy was like predicting about the dangers of job security, but he was like way super off about it, because it's like that's always the reality, is that yeah, you can work anywhere. You could, if you're 100% full-time remote, if you can get somewhere that has competent internet,
yeah,
you go there. But there could be trade-offs. There could be job security concerns, but those things aren't new.
No.
Just because, you know, a fraction of the workforce is more remote than they used to be.
Yeah. It's the trade-off where you can say, I can work fully remote and my jobs allows me to live anywhere, so I'm going to go live in the super cheap area of, you know, the middle of nowhere. Even, like, we've had this discussion where we're like, if we wanted, could we move even to Wanakee? You know, that's a booming town.
Oh, yeah,
The property values are lower than here.
Yep.
But, like, the trade-off would be is that they don't have a Target. They don't have they don't have, at least as far as we've seen.
From Wanakee, yeah, you'd be going south of Middleton for that.
Yeah, like a Cops, a Pick and Save, like groceries, we'd have to come all the way back here.
No, well, not necessarily. Wanakee has a Piggly Wiggly, and that is a totally fine grocery store. In fact,
that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Shop the Pig. Hey, actually, I am really big fans of them because when Jolly Good Soda came back in 2015, they were the first carriers of it. So when I was looking for, when I read that they were bringing it back, I was like, "Ooh, where can I get it?" And they're like, "Oh, you can get it at Piggly Wiggly." I'm like, "Wait,
This
that
way.
exists?"
We have to yeet ourselves into the beam.
Oh, okay.
Stop touching me! Stop it! Throw yourself into the beam, I'll be along.
Whee!
Oh, this is actually an important cutscene that we do have to watch. Cortana's staying behind to detonate in Amber Planet and destroy the flood aboard High Charity. You are throwing yourselves onto, this is a Forerunner ship that Truth is taking out of High Charity.
When you get to Earth, good
okay.
luck.
After I'm through with Truth.
Don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it.
Lie down. Try not to cry.
Come
Cry a
on.
lot.
No. Damn it, don't be saying that shit.
Sobs ugly in Halo.
Yep.
I know it is like 1 minute to 10,
Yes.
but this is also the last mission. I just realized that. So if you want, we can save this for next week, or we can keep going, power through, and finish. It is up to you, sir.
Let's save it for next week.
Yeah.
Let's
Perfect.
do that. Yeah. And we can give it the room that it needs, so that we're not like feeling that we're tired or that it's getting too late or whatever. We can just be like, all right, final chapter, let's go. So
Where the council
Yeah.
meant to watch the concert.
Okay. Perfect. So we will pick that back up. I forget what I was even saying about before that, because now I have to emotionally deal with Cortana saying goodbye again.
Yeah. I kind of forgot what we were talking about prior to that too.
Yeah. Oh, and I have someone who is come here, you. Come here, fluff butt. He's been asleep the whole time because he was
Aw.
at daycare. Tavi. Can you
Oh
come
yeah,
here?
that daycare will wear them out. Oh,
Oh yeah.
that's so great.
Oh, we were talking about Piggly Wiggly, but
Oh, that's
no,
right.
it's
Yes.
stuff like yes, we could
Wanakee.
move back to Wanakee, but all of our friends live here.
Mhm.
You know, we're pretty well established here. Oh, thank you. You know, so it's
Yep.
nice to be like we're gonna. Yeah, there are some downsides, but we're gonna stay in a place where we're established. We're happy. Like, could we? My in-laws live in Tennessee,
Mm.
and every time we visit, you know, my mother-in-law tells me about how nice it is and how much she loves it here and how it's booming and how all these young people are moving here and it's great for remote work and oh, there's a great and thriving healthcare. You guys should, you know, very clearly you should come live here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if we were both in like full remote, didn't matter where we lived,
Mhm.
even if we did that, I don't think we would, because all of our friends, all of the people we care about and love are here.
And that
We've
matters.
established-
Yes. That matters a lot with where you
And
live.
I think that matters regardless of whether you're renting or buying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is something that is becoming more and more important as people are finding more remote work, is the where do I want to be that makes me happy,
Mm-hmm.
that I can afford.
Yes.
Let's not get crazy. So,
All right. Well, let me end the stream since we're good with that. So we had a couple of visitors. They didn't say hi or anything, but they were lurking. Yeah. So thanks for watching, folks. Take care of yourselves. Stay hydrated. Watch for deer, and see you next time whenever streaming happens again. Aaron, you got any final words for the evening?
it is fully flu season. Make sure you get your flu shots so that you can see all your loved ones on Thanksgiving safely, and have a wonderful, happy, healthy night. Get some sleep.
All right. So until next time, folks, take care.